Now, you might be thinking, wait, didn't she just leave the WNBA? That's right. And that's where things get really interesting. While Clark is lighting up Europe, the WNBA is struggling to fill seats. Can you believe the contrast? It's a tale of two worlds. And we're about to break down exactly what this means for the future of women's basketball. Picture this, a packed arena in Barcelona, fans on their feet chanting, "We want Caitlin." The energy is electric, like nothing we've seen before in women's basketball. But wait, isn't Clark supposed to be in the WNBA? What's going on here as Clark steps onto the court? The crowd goes absolutely wild. Did you see what just happened? Caitlin Clark stepped onto that European court, and the whole place exploded. Fans were going absolutely crazy chanting her name, like she was a rock star. It's like nothing we've ever seen before in women's basketball. And fans are supporting her.
Caitlin Clark is going overseas to play in the European League. I'm here to let everybody know that she should. WNBA is the most ghetto-ish. Dysfunction is real. Whoever's in charge of the WNBA League is to be fired, terminated, expeditiously.
It's a far cry from her college days or brief WNBA stint, Barcelona basket. Faman knew exactly what they were doing when they signed her, plastering her face across billboards and social media. And now the fans are showing their appreciation in a big way. Clark's loving every second of it too. She is talking about how excited she is for the European game with its different rules and more aggressive style. It's a whole new challenge for her, and you can bet she's ready to take it on as Clark embraces her new European adventure. The WNBA is grappling with an unexpected challenge. Think the league's doing just fine without its brightest young star. The latest attendance figures might shock you. How many empty seats does it take to send league executives into panic mode?
Let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Do you want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us? Really? Caitlin Clark is the golden goose. Not most, not all, but some people spent some time resenting her for it.
Let's take a closer look at what's really going on with the WNBA. The numbers are in, and they're painting a pretty grim picture. We're talking about a serious drop in game attendance and TV ratings. It's not just a small dip. We're seeing some arenas looking like ghost towns compared to the packed houses they used to have.
Now keep in mind, the female Suns were averaging close to 2 million viewers when they were playing against Caitlin Clark. Since Caitlin Clark was eliminated from the playoffs, WNBA ratings had declined 50%. They have lost half of their audience in less than a week, and it's only going to get worse from here.
You might be wondering, how bad could it really be? Well, brace yourself, because the contrast between Clark's European reception and the WNBA's current situation is mind-blowing, while Clark's debut in Barcelona had fans hanging from the rafters. Some WNBA games are struggling to fill even half their seats. It's like night and day. Look at the number.
This is her first playoff game, her debut, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun, raking in 1.84 million viewers. Game 2, this was an elimination game, so season on the line here, raking in even more viewers, 2.54 million viewers. Now, let's take those numbers, 1.84, 2.54 million, and compare them to the first weekend of playoff action without Caitlin Clark in the mix. Two of the premier teams in the league, defending champions on the floor, drew an audience of 929,000, according to ESPN. That is 50% less than the Fever's Game 1 against the Sun, and even less than the Fever's Game 2 against the Sun.
But why is this happening? What's causing such a drastic change in the WNBA's fortunes? There are a few factors at play here. First, losing a star player like Caitlin Clark is a major blow, and the league was never supposed to let that happen.
This is just another example about how people have fumbled the gift that is Caitlin Clark.
She had been attracting fans who might not have otherwise tuned into women's basketball without her star power. Many of those casual viewers are dropping off, which is why they're now being forced to broadcast on ESPN2. It's a real fall from grace.
It's about to get a lot worse. Last night, both games were broadcast on ESPN2. Games broadcast on ESPN2 significantly lower than games broadcast on ESPN or ABC. And that's true for all leagues, not just the WNBA.
With European League stepping up their game and offering more competitive salaries in packed arenas, some players are starting to see overseas opportunities as more attractive. This brain drain is making it harder for the WNBA to maintain the level of play that fans expect, and it's just the beginning.
There could be a world where more of these private-owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas.
And let's not forget about marketing and exposure. The WNBA has been working hard to increase its visibility, but without marquee names like Clark, it's an uphill battle. TV networks are less likely to give prime time slots to games that aren't drawing big numbers, creating a vicious cycle of decreased exposure and falling viewership. Now you might be thinking, surely it can't be that bad, right? Well, hold on to your seats, because these numbers are going to blow your mind. Another recent reports show that WNBA viewership is down nearly 50% compared to when Caitlin Clark was playing. That's not a typo, we're talking about half of their audience just gone.
The ABC matchup drew 929,000 viewers, which is a good number for the WNBA. However, that was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever contest. The Sun and the Lynx drew just more than 650,000. Good Lord.
This massive drop has sent shockwaves through the league. WNBA executives are reportedly in full-on in panic mode, scrambling to find ways to stop the bleeding. They're facing some tough questions. How do they attract new stars? How do they keep the ones they have? And most importantly, how do they get fans back in those seats?
Apparently, they don't know how to handle business. Caitlin Clark single-handedly brought in a whole and no, it ain't because of Angel Reese.
It's not just about filling arenas either. This viewership crisis is affecting everything from sponsorship deals to TV contracts to ticket price. The WNBA's entire business model is under the microscope, and there are serious concerns about its long-term viability. If these trends continue, just take a look at the current ticket prices.
Tickets were going for around $100. Now, for any other major sporting event, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL maybe, $100 tickets, that would be considered a bargain. Hell, in most cases, $100 tickets do not exist. The most expensive seats to see Caitlin Clark were selling for over $4,000. When she played Angel Reese in the regular season, average ticket was selling for $300. Normally, the Chicago Bravado, they'll let you in for free to see Angel Reese.
This is ridiculous, but here's where it gets really interesting. While the WNBA is struggling, Clark is bringing something special to Europe. It's not just her skills on the court. She's injecting a whole new level of excitement and energy into the game. European fans are eating it up, and it's creating a buzz that the WNBA can only dream of right now. And as the excitement builds, the European leagues are chanting, "We want Caitlin," and I'm sure Caitlin Clark is excited as well.
If I was Caitlin Clark, I'd be excited because I'm going overseas with people that treat me with respect, the upright respect. Payday gonna be big, and it ain't gonna be a lot of stress. It ain't gonna be a lot of jealousness. It ain't gonna be a lot of hate.
Clark's not just playing basketball. She's igniting a revolution, and it's spreading faster than wildfire. You think ticket sales are impressive? Wait till you hear what's happening to merchandise, TV deals, and even local businesses. How far can this Clark effect really go?
Yes, Marvin.
So if you have an MVP vote, do you give Caitlin Clark a second place?
Yeah, once again, I'm talking about the totality of somebody's value. Her value is felt every place she goes, every arena she goes. TV, ratings, value. This is something that to me is larger than this, the stats that you're going to have. Value, I think she should be runner-up to A'ja Wilson.
Let's rewind a bit when Clark entered the WNBA. Basketball was struggling to find. Its footing attendance was low, media coverage was minimal, and the sport was often overshadowed by men's leagues. But back then, everything changed, and it happened at breakneck speed.
When you look at the numbers with Caitlin Clark there, her first playoff game, drawing 1.84 million viewers. Ridiculous numbers. The highest rated playoff game since Game 2 of the 2000 WNBA Finals. This wasn't even just an opening round game back in 2000. This was one of the finals games. So this clearly is showing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark is having. A total of 22 WNBA games clocked north of 1 million viewers. That surpassed the standing record of 15 games set in 1998.
The ripple effects of Clark's presence were simply staggering. The WNBA reported that their season ticket sales had doubled since signing. Her "can you believe that" double, and it wasn't just about putting butts in seats. Fans raced to get their hands on Clark's jerseys, creating a merchandise frenzy. Like nothing seen before in women's basketball.
Fans just can't get enough. So Lila Yates can tell you, weekends at the Black and Gold shop in West Des Moines are busy.
In my year time of being here, this is the first thing we've sold, really, besides Hawkeye. We sold out of her "You Break It, You Own It" shirt in just a few days' time.
But here's where it got really interesting. The Clark effect wasn't limited to the arena. Local businesses around the WNBA arenas experienced a boom on game days. Restaurants, bars, and shops were packed with fans eager to be part of the Clark experience. It was like entire cities came alive when she played.
Before Caitlin, the attendance was around 5,000. Since Caitlin, she sold out every game this year. So that's an increase of about 10,000 tickets per game. The average ticket price has gone up, say roughly $100. So that right there is looking at $1 million per game. And so if you take that times 14 home games, that's $14 million. And that's not even considering anything else.
And let's not forget about the ticket sales. They skyrocketed. Fans are snapping up seats faster than ever before, with games selling out in record time. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get any bigger, she dropped a bombshell. She wanted to move to the European League. She wasn't just considering a temporary stint. She might be making the league her permanent home. This move wasn't just about basketball. It was a statement that women's basketball was evolving and ready to compete on a global stage.
Emotions will probably hit me over the next couple days, and I don't have much time.
Clark's bombshell decision has set off a chain reaction. Now WNBA is trying to adjust. You might be wondering, is this the end of the WNBA? Not so fast. The basketball world is at a crossroads, with the WNBA and European League squaring off in a battle for talent, and viewers, both sides are making moves. But who's got the winning strategy?
8 years is such a long time. She'll be midway maybe, if not over halfway through her WNBA career by the time that this contract is up, and then renegotiating that and trying to get more at that point in her career. Like, this was the buzz that you should have capitalized on.
Let's break down what's happening. The WNBA is feeling the heat, and it's not hard to see why they've missed a massive opportunity by not capitalizing on Caitlin Clark's rise. To stardom, losing a star like Clark is a big blow, and they're scrambling to find ways to keep their other top players from jumping. But they're not throwing in the towel just yet. Word on the street is they're looking at some major changes to stay competitive.
I think we need to pay the women, more money, obviously, and they certainly deserve it, and their talent level certainly demands it. So I'm pulling for them to get every dollar that they deserve, and more than willing to do whatever we have to make that a possibility.
According to Mark Jackson, we're talking about potentially raising salary caps, improving player benefits, and even exploring new markets. The WNBA knows they need to step up their game if they want to keep their stars from being lured away by those lucrative European contracts, as they are already losing money after Caitlin Clark's elimination.
He's under fire. Adam Silver's under fire over the WNBA. The Liberty and the Lynx, the league's owners, will not be making a return on their investment for the foreseeable future, sources close to the situation said. The NBA owns nearly 60% of the league. Will lose $40 million. NBA investors are growing impatient. They're getting tired of it.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark's success in Europe isn't just affecting the WNBA. It's making other top players sit up and take notice. Can you imagine if more WNBA stars decided to follow in Clark's footsteps? We could be looking at a whole new landscape for women's basketball. What does this mean for the WNBA? It's more than just losing a star like Clark. It signals the potential loss of more top talent. Her decision is prompting a serious evaluation of the league. Are the players being compensated fairly? Are they protected on the court? Are they getting the respect and recognition they deserve?
The money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not returning.
But here's the twist. This could be exactly what the WNBA needs to spark real change.
They need to tighten up, they need to do it quickly, and we'll see what happens.
Sometimes it takes a big shakeup to make progress. Clark's move might be the wake-up call the league has needed to address these persistent issues. We might soon see improvements in player salaries, working conditions, and a whole new era for women's basketball in the US.
And now she's out of the playoffs. What a gift for the WNBA and for ESPN for that matter. But now what happens? I'm really intrigued because there's a league with players that feel like they should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though?
Can you believe what's happening in women's basketball right now? Caitlin Clark's departure has turned the WNBA upside down. Her impact on viewership, ticket sales, and merchandise were undeniable. And now, her exit has exposed some of the biggest challenges.
$76,000 is not enough for someone you are looking to be the face of the league going forward. No other professional sports league would do something like that, and it's a shame.
The $1 million question is, will Clark's move be the turning point? The WNBA needs players feel underpaid, undervalued, and even unsafe on the court. Something has to change. And this moment could be the catalyst.
Some players would want to go play overseas instead of playing in the WNBA. Will we see any players, maybe like Gabby, just stay over there and say, hey, I'm done with the mess. I'm getting paid more here, getting treated better. Maybe I should stay.
This isn't just about one star player leaving. It's about the future of women's basketball. Clark's decision could spark a revolution in the league, leading to better pay, improved treatment, and a new chapter for the sport. The ball's in the WNBA's court. Now, their next move could reshape women's basketball for years to come.